Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and this is your stimulus check update for the next stimulus package for Wednesday, December 9th. I hope everyone is off to a good and safe start to their Wednesday so far. In this video, I'll be discussing updates in regards to the next relief package and the second stimulus check. I'll also be discussing unemployment, why one Republican senator is calling on Donald Trump to veto any relief package, and then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you wouldn't mind real quickly liking this video, give me a big thumbs up. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other viewers like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. Okay, so if anyone could possibly be more displeased than we are about the lack of stimulus checks in the current proposal, it would be Republican Senator Josh Hawley. According to reports, he has been extremely upset about the possibility of not including direct payments to American families in the next relief package. Because of this, he not only took his complaints to Twitter on multiple occasions, but now he's going straight to President Trump. In a recent phone call over the weekend, the Missouri senator encouraged Trump to veto any virus relief package that does not include a stimulus check in it. Hawley said, "I think it's vital that any relief include direct payments, and I'm not going to vote for it if it doesn't." Hawley also said that it's wild that a Senate GOP proposal and a bipartisan $908 billion plan offers aid, but it doesn't include more stimulus payments. So, real interesting stuff there, and it's nice to see some of our lawmakers really going to bat for us for these direct payments. With that said, it's really hard seeing the president vetoing any bill if it passes Congress, even if it doesn't include direct payments in it. In the end, widely, it would be seen as blocking other relief, such as unemployment, and it probably wouldn't be regarded as a popular move. Now, what do you guys personally think about this? If Congress passed something similar to the bipartisan proposal, which doesn't include stimulus checks in it, would you like for President Trump to veto it? Why or why not? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. In other stimulus news, even though Democratic leaders Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer threw their support behind the $900 billion bipartisan proposal, Mitch McConnell is now saying that his plan is the better one. According to Republicans, the 6-month moratorium on lawsuits proposed in the bipartisan package is too limited, as they want something a bit longer term, such as 5 years. If you remember, liability protections for business owners has been considered a red line for Mitch McConnell, which also makes it a potential deal breaker. On the floor, McConnell told Democrats to drop the all-or-nothing tactics, and he called on Schumer to allow a vote for a more targeted bill that would extend the unemployment insurance benefits, extend the Paycheck Protection Program, and provide funding for vaccine distribution. Of course, being that the bill by the bipartisan group would only include $348 billion in new spending, I would say it's already fairly targeted. Hey, you could even add in a second round of stimulus payments, and that would still keep the total of new spending below $650 billion. Senator John Thune said that any deal is ultimately going to have to satisfy Mitch McConnell because it's been one of his lead priorities since the beginning of all this, speaking of the liability provisions. Other than liability provisions for businesses, another area that's being contested is the aid for state and local government. Ultimately, it seems like if a bill does get passed, we're either going to see liability protections and aid for state and local government, or neither of the two are going to be included. Senator John Cornyn thinks the same, saying there's either going to be none for both of those, or both of those are going to be provided for. My hope is we'll do both. The real question is, will Democrats be able to get on board with a bill that doesn't include state and local aid in it? And also, will Republicans be able to get behind a bill that doesn't include liability protections for business owners? If so, they may be able to pass a bill without those two in there. And if they do, they could also easily just replace the money in the proposal for state and local aid and change it over to direct payments for Americans. Just saying, the money is there. In addition to passing the next relief package, lawmakers will also have their hands full passing the government spending bill. Since they've been unable to reach an agreement on that, it looks like they'll be voting on a 1-week CR today in order to keep the government open while the negotiations continue on. Some of the more divisive issues in the spending negotiations have centered around the funding for the border wall with Mexico and detention facilities. According to Democratic aides, if the stopgap bill passes, it is expected to last through December 18th. So after hearing Democrats saying they would like to pass a CR deal, a relief package, and the defense policy bill by the end of this week, it looks like things are moving much more slowly than expected, as usual. At this point, even if they were to include a stimulus check in the next relief package, we probably won't see it hit our accounts until early 2021. And that, of course, is if they do include one or pass any relief package at all. With that said, all we can continue to do is hang in there, stay strong, and hope for the best. In unemployment news, in Oklahoma, residents have seen both some good news and some bad news. The good news is that their average unemployment claim numbers have steadily been declining as of late, down by 20% in late November. And the bad news, you ask? Well, because of that, the Extended Benefits Program, which is triggered by the average unemployment claim numbers, made it so that program will be coming to an end on December 12th. State leaders in Oklahoma said that due to a low number of unemployment claims, there is basically nothing they can do. Many states also have a very similar system where their extended benefits are tied to the average number of unemployment claims. So while it's good that the average claims are going down, it's tough to see those benefits coming to an end, especially so close to Christmas. Oklahoma had a statewide unemployment rate of 6.1% according to the October numbers, which sits below the national rate of 6.7%. According to statistics, Nebraska currently has the best unemployment rate at 3%, which is exactly where they were before the pandemic took place. Vermont comes in at second at 3.2%. Nevada and Hawaii are the two states at the bottom, which doesn't come at much of a surprise, considering they both really rely heavily on tourism. Hawaii currently has a staggering unemployment rate of 14.3%, while Nevada sits at 12%. So with these sky-high numbers for some states, it's obviously very important that Congress finally gets their acts together and extends these benefits on a longer-term, more stable basis. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm going to move right along to answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. And if you do have any other comments or questions for me, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to answer as many of the comments and questions as I possibly can, but for those comments and questions I'm not able to respond to, I do try to pick some of the more popular ones to answer in the next video in video form. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into the first comment of today's video, which is from Tina. Tina says, Josh, I changed banks. When should I go to the non-followers tool and put in my new banking information? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Tina, and you'll actually need to go to the payment portal on the IRS website to change that information. However, you'll only be able to change your information once or if they do pass the next relief package with a stimulus check in it. If you try to change it now, the payment portal will only let you know when you receive your first stimulus payment, and it won't give you the ability to update your information. However, as I mentioned, once or if they do pass the next relief package and it has a stimulus check in it, you should be able to update your information at that point in time. This is obviously very important because if you fail to do so, the IRS will try to send you the payment to your old bank account, which will get rejected because the bank is closed. The payment will then get kicked back to the IRS, where they'll send your check in the mail instead. And even though you'll still definitely receive your payment, you probably don't want there to be any delays in receiving your money. Okay, moving right along to the next question of today's video, which is from Herman. Herman says, how far back do you think the retroactive unemployment insurance will go? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Herman, and at this point, it's currently up in the air. According to those close to the negotiations, at the moment, Democrats are fighting to have at least 2 months in retroactive payments. However, with the limited budget in this next relief package, it's quite possible we may not see any retroactive payments at all. This is just quite sad because once again, in the proposal Steve Mnuchin had for Nancy Pelosi way back in October, it would have included retroactive unemployment payments going all the way back to September 12th. So now, since Pelosi rejected that proposal, not only are we possibly not going to be receiving stimulus checks, but those receiving unemployment benefits may not even receive it retroactively. With that said, all this is certainly subject to change, but I'll definitely make sure to keep you updated one way or another. Okay, moving right along to the last question of today's video, which is from Kathy. Kathy says, will people on SSI and Ssdi benefits, as well as veterans, receive a stimulus check too? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Kathy, and yes, everyone who received the first stimulus check will more than likely be eligible for the next one as well. However, as mentioned in this video, in the latest $900 billion proposal, there wasn't a stimulus check included. If they do decide to include one in previous proposals anyways, they made it so everyone who received the first stimulus check would be eligible for the second one as well. And since people on Social Security benefits, as well as veterans, received the first stimulus check, then they should be getting the second one as well. With everything else, of course, all this could change, but I will definitely make sure to keep you updated along the way. Alright, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so and it's a great support to me. Also, if you'd like to receive 4 free stocks from Webull, with 2 of them valued all the way up to $1,600 each, please feel free to claim those free stocks by clicking the link in the description box below. And finally, if you join Rakuten with my referral link in the description box below, and you spend at least $20, Rakuten will give you $20 cash back. This means that you could buy an item through Rakuten with one of the referral links, such as Nike, for $20, which would be around $22 after tax, and Rakuten will give you $20 just for making that purchase. This is just an incredible deal that I would love for everyone to take advantage of. Okay, so until next time, I'll see you guys, and I hope you have a great day today.